Welcome to the Speak and Solve Initiative University's debate. My name is Robin Kondiwa, and I'll be your host throughout the day as we have interesting and intriguing discussions and debate today for the first time ever in the Republic of Zimbabwe. We shall start, of course, with our partners who are here to support us and make sure that we have these debates and this intrinsic analysis of issues that surround us and indeed issues that affect us. We shall be having our first speech to open up as we go forward.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to welcome you all to the 2019 National Debate Competition. I would also like to acknowledge the support of our partners, the Students Academics International in Norway, SAI, and the Embassy of Sweden. We are grateful and highly honored for their unwavering support towards the whole discourse and agenda of students. Most importantly, I would like to speak about why we're here. We're here because of the agenda set by SAYWHAT as an organization. The Students and Youth Working on Reproductive Health Action Team, it's a student-led organization which is set to ensure that students remain a key priority in the health discourse and agenda within Zimbabwe. Our aim is to ensure that students are never really taken for granted and also left out. We would like to ensure that students continue to be capacitated as an organization. Their capacity will enable them to have the adequate skills that will help them make informed choices and decisions. We also would like to ensure that students are fully supported in accessing their services with respect to their sexual and reproductive health, including HIV and AIDS services. We would also like to ensure that students are well represented when it comes to advocacy initiatives in our country. Lastly, as an organization, we prioritize information. We believe knowledge is power, and that is the reason why we're also here. It is the responsibility of SAYWHAT as an organization and its partners to actually ensure that students are well informed with accurate and consistent information. This formulates the basis of the 2019 SASI debate competitions. The reason why students will be gathered today here, and we are here today with our different partners, is to ensure that students realize the need for them to play their role when it comes to creating conversations and being part of critical dialogues that formulate development issues in our country. It's their right, it's their responsibility. In a few years or more years to come, 2030, we expect our population, half of our population in Africa, to be of young people. And because of that, young people should be able to articulate development issues. And the reason why this is important is so that they can form part of the people that contribute positively to the whole development agenda in Africa. We believe debate competitions such as this will bring students to open their minds and also add a voice to critical issues. It will also enable them, with their capacity being developed, to make sure that they actually contribute meaningfully to all conversations that take place in the country. With that, I am grateful. We are thankful as an institution for all the support that we are being given by our partners, the adjudicators representing our different partners present here, from the Ministry of Health, UNESCO, also SAT, as well as girls represented here. Welcome, and SAYWHAT is greatly appreciate all your support, and we hope you will enjoy, have fun today as we spend the whole day together. Let's enjoy the deliberations. Thank you.
And indeed, of course, we have the support of the Swedish Embassy in Zimbabwe and also SAYWHAT. Now, if you have been always following our programming here on Zimpapers Television Network, you will know that they also partner us on other developmental issues that we talk about, especially on a program that we have every fortnight, one called Heartbeat. And of course, I'm your host for that. as well. And thank you so much for gracing this event. We've got a live studio audience, but I would like to also remind you that we've got a lot of people all over the country and indeed all over the world who are watching and following today's debate, courtesy of Zim Papers Television Network and of course our partners around the world. We're going to have a second speech that will also give us perspective with regards where we're going today, and indeed after that we will then get into the business of the day and get more perspective of why we're here and what it is that we aim to achieve.
Thank you, Robert. My name is Piwe Dongo and I'm the SAYWHAT Regional Programs Officer. I'm just here to talk about the importance of why we're all here. So let me just begin by reading from what one Edwin Shatter wrote. He said that perhaps no study equals debate in the acquirement of the power of logical thinking combined with clear expression. This means that the debate that has made us all here is providing a unique educational experience because of the way it promotes in-depth study, complex analysis, and focused critical thinking. So at the end of this whole experience, we are going to be having great researchers, great critical thinkers, and then great active listeners. And then I think I should just maybe talk more about active listening, because it is an art. It requires one to listen within a short space of time, the arguments, the gaps, the key notes to defend, and we're all going to be having students here displaying that art. Last but not least, we are here to speak and solve. Debate is an art of advocacy. They're going to be advocating for the various issues that affect our communities. And I hope that we are all going to be, at the end of the day, great advocates, great listeners, like what is going to be displayed by the students throughout the day. Thank you.
Thank you. And indeed, we heard that debate is an agent, of course, of advocacy. Today, we've got 10 universities from all over our country, our bounteous land, and we're going to be getting intellect and intelligence from all over. But of course, before we get into the meat, let us have one final intervention, one final speech that shall round off everything that we are here to do today, and indeed, the brawling will begin.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lynette Kudzai-Zoshe. I'm the current National Coordinating Chairperson under SAYWHAT, and I'm here to talk about the SAYWHAT structures, because we are here with students, we are here with provincial coordinators, and you're wondering where exactly are we coming from. So with SAYWHAT, we have what we call the local coordinating chapter. Let me first appreciate that in 48 institutions which are in Zimbabwe, SAYWHAT is launched in 43 tertiary institutions. Henceforth, those are what we call the local coordinating chapters. Then from there, we have 2 representatives from each and every local coordinating chapter who goes and represent what we call the provincial coordinating committee. From there, we select 2 individuals per province that will go and stand in what we call the national coordinating committee, where I am coming from as the national coordinating chairperson. So from there, that's what we call now the student-led organization. So I remember our first speaker talk about SAYWHAT being a student-led organization. Without us, the organization definitely won't survive, because it's our thing, it's for us students. Hence the reason why we really need strong and active participation of the young people. Above all, I would really like to acknowledge our partners. We have managed to give us such an opportunity to have debate where we as the young people, we speak freely in our own space, our minds, and what we think can be better for enhancing our development in our country. And to all the young people who have managed to be given this wonderful opportunity, let me say this: don't take this opportunity for granted. You never know what it might be for you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and indeed, we shall not take this opportunity for granted. An opportunity granted to us by our partners, by SAYWHAT, and of course the Swedish Embassy in Zimbabwe, who have always been hand-holding us as a team, as a people. We're also now going to watch something that will put into perspective what it is we're going to be doing today. It is a package that will speak to what we're going to be doing throughout the day until 4:30, perhaps even later.
Hello, my name is Åsa Persson. I'm Swedish ambassador to Zimbabwe. We are very excited to partner up with SAYWHAT on the university debate competition on sexual and reproductive health. I hope that the debate will trigger discussions on sexual and reproductive health and rights. I hope that a lot of learning will take place during the debates, and that it might inspire and trigger to discussions on where entrenched beliefs will be changed. And most of all, I wish all of the participants good luck and a lots of fun during the debates.
Hi, my name is Maria McKelvey.
And I'm Kudzai Joseph Chokmanyara.
We are representing the Midland State University, the University of First Choice,
Join us at the SASI debate competitions
where we are live on Facebook.
on the ZTN TV channel as well as the SAYWHAT Facebook page.
See you there.
Hi guys, my name is Lydia Mtumbu and this is
Simon Gahadze.
we are from Bindira University of Science Education and we are here for the SASI debate competition.
Please keep watching the SASI debate competition live on ZTN.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Mary Ann Nazombe,
And I'm Tutu Zingube from the
National University of Science and Technology. So keep watching the SASI debates.
right on ZTN and on the SAYWHAT Facebook page.
Thank you.
Exe Awe, I am Louise Ndlovu.
And I'm Tadiwa Daka.
And we are from
Kwanda
Kwanda
State
State University. Keep watching the SASI debate competitions
On ZTN Live and on our SAYWHAT Facebook page. Exe Awe.
Welcome back to our debate. And of course, we've got people who are sizzling right now, ready and willing to give us their thoughts and their thought processes with regards the contentious issues that we have today. I'm going to go through a run of what we expect of them today with regards our debate process. Now, we're using the adjusted Karl Popper debate format, and it will go as follows. First, we'll have the affirmative opening speech by student number 1 for 3 minutes. Then the opposer's cross-examination by student 2 for 1 minute. Then the opposer's opening speech by student 1 for 3 minutes. Then the affirmative cross-examination by student 2, that shall be for 1 minute. Then the opposer's rebuttal by student 2 for 2 minutes. The affirmative rebuttal by student 2 for 2 minutes. The opposer's closing remarks by student 1 for 1 minute 30 seconds. And finally, the affirmative closing remarks by student 1, that too shall be 1 minute and 30 seconds. During cross-examination rounds, the examining debater will have 1 minute to ask the answering debater questions. This time cannot be used by either debater to deliver a speech. Questions should be asked in an if format to keep things moving, and responses should be brief and direct. First, the affirmative constructive by student 1. In this speech, the affirmative team is expected to offer its complete argument in favor of the resolution. Although later affirmative speakers may repeat points and expand on them in the debate, the first affirmative speaker must speak and present the entirety of his or her team's case, including whatever criteria or definitions the team views as instrumental. Then the first negative cross-examination will be as follows. The two debaters are expected to face the audience as opposed to each other. The negative debater is expected to ask questions rather than make speeches. The affirmative debater is expected to answer these questions. He or she should not make speeches or ask questions in return. The affirmative debater may make concessions during the cross-examination, but it is incumbent upon the negative team to capitalize on these concessions in the speech that immediately follows. The team members should not assist their teammates by offering suggestions or by answering questions on their behalf. During the cross-examination period, only the examiner may ask questions and only the speaker may answer them. No spoken communication between either the examiner or the speaker and his or her teammate is allowed. And third, in the negative constructive by student 1 from the opposing team, like the affirmative team in its constructive, the negative team is expected to offer a complete argument against the affirmative's position. The affirmative's definition, if not challenged at this point, should stand. Similarly, if the negative does not offer competing criteria, it is assumed that the criteria articulated by the affirmative team will govern the round. Finally, the negative team must challenge the affirmative's argument, otherwise it will be assumed that these arguments are acceptable. It's not going to get any easier, is it? The first affirmative cross-examination by student 2 from the affirmative team is as follows. The rules of the procedure for the first negative cross-examination, which I mentioned, will also apply here. In the first rebuttal by the opposer's student 2 opposing team, the opposing speaker has 2 tasks in this speech. First, he or she must outline their refutations of the affirmative arguments. Second, he or she must respond to the refutations made by the affirmative team, that is, the affirmative's objections to the opposing case. If the opposing speaker does not refute a given point in the affirmative case, then the point stands. If the opposing speaker does not respond to a particular affirmative objection, then the objection is conceded. New evidence for existing arguments may also be presented at this point. The first rebuttal by the affirmative student 2 of the affirmative team will be as follows. As with the opposing rebuttal described above, the affirmative speaker has a dual task. First, he or she must respond to the refutations made by the opposing team. And second, he or she should continue to attack the opposing team's case. At this point in the debate, the affirmative speaker may start to draw the judge's attention to points that have been dropped. That is, he or she will indicate items to which opposing team has not responded. Such a drop point is treated as a concession made by the opposing team. New evidence for existing arguments may also be presented at this time. opposers' closing remarks will be as follows for student 1 of the opposing team. The speaker is expected to use tact and compassion to draw the judge's attention to their final conclusion. The closing remarks can be a hybrid of what makes their position so compelling and why the other side's position is null and void. The speakers are encouraged on extreme word utility and conciseness of ideas, and they should not start a new argument at this stage of closure. Similarly, that applies to the affirmative closing remarks of student 1 for the affirmative team. The guns have been drawn, the battle lines are known, and in our first round, we have the 2 teams already here and ready to brawl. Before we introduce the topic, I shall ask the affirmers to tell us their names and what program they are studying at their respective universities, starting with student 1 from the affirmers.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mary Ann Nazombe from the National University of Science and Technology. I study Environmental Science and Health, Part 2-1.
I'm also from NUST. My name is Mdudu Zimbabwe, studying Journalism and Media.
Thank you. And we shall go to the opposers, starting with student 1, their name and what program they're studying.
Pleasant day to you all viewers. I am Tahanasha Simon Gaadza, doing chemical technology at BUSE.
My name is Lydia Mtumbu and I study social works at BUSE.
Perhaps somebody would want to know what BUSE is. It sounds like pretty scary.
It's Bindura University of Science and Education.
Bindura University of Science and Education, indeed. Their topic is criminalizing same-sex marriages as zero solution to Zimbabwe's HIV prevention package. That topic, yet again, criminalizing same-sex marriages as zero solution to Zimbabwe's HIV prevention package. And for that, we shall have the affirmative opening speech from student 1. That shall be 3 minutes. And as soon as we have our timer ready, I shall ask you to commence student 1 with the affirmative opening speech. Our timer is up. We have 3 minutes for the affirmative opening speech. Student 1, you may commence.
We're gathered here today to talk about the National Preventative Strategy for HIV in Zimbabwe, right? So first of all, we feel in order for a national prevention strategy when it comes to issues of HIV and AIDS and also STIs to be strategic and to be effective, we need to prioritize on number 1, data collection when it comes to what is termed key target populations, right? So when talking about key target populations, these are defined by the National Prevention Strategy, right? And when it comes to issues of HIV, we talk about these vulnerable groups, which is anyone who is involved in any kind of sexual activity, right? So when we talk about anyone who is involved in any kind of sexual activity, we feel that this prevention strategy should directly interact with the happenings of society, right? So good morning to everyone else. Let's talk about society. So in the current society that we live in, right, it has been largely a heterosexual society, right? But with the dawn of the 21st century, we have seen a rise in homosexual marriages or in homosexuals that exist within the current status quo. But what is going on in Zimbabwe? Homosexual marriages are actually criminalized, right? So because they are criminalized, we have got particular flaws that then exist within the national prevention strategy, right? Number 1 being the inaccurate data collection that then occurs, right? The fact that something has been criminalized by legislation means that we assume it doesn't exist within society, which is particularly problematic for HIV prevention strategies, right? Because we tell you that number 1, homosexuals exist within our society, whether we like it or we don't like it. And because they exist in society, they undergo particular sexual activities, which are the most probable cause or the most probable channel in which HIV and AIDS and STIs are spread around, right? So we have got number 1, an established channel of transmission of HIV and AIDS when it comes to gay sexual marriages or with homosexual marriages, right? So we feel in order for a national prevention strategy to be proper, criminalizing gay marriages or criminalizing homosexual marriages is not particularly a proper solution, right? Because it inhibits ministry access to information and into drafting preventative strategy when it comes to homosexual marriages, right? We tell you because they exist within society, they also deserve particular or basic sexual reproductive health services. But why? Because they are criminalized, government or any other involving stakeholder does not prepare or does not adequately address their sexual needs, right? We tell you that even when NGOs, for example, we've got a survey that was done by girls, right, in conjunction with when the Ministry of Health allowed them to do that survey, right, for girls. When that survey was done, homosexuals didn't come up in the open. Why? Because they were scared to view out their sexuality because they are criminalized. The moment we have individuals being criminalized for their sexual activity, it becomes problematic because we cannot access the data that we need for the prevention strategies to be effective in society and for them to be established. With this being said and done, I rest my case.
That was a very pretty marathon. At this point, we shall have the opposers cross-examination by student 2. This shall be a minute, and when my timer is up, you can always start. Timer's on. You may commence.
Question 1. If criminalization of same-sex marriages is a zero solution to the HIV prevention package, what is the 100% solution?
100% is starting with decriminalizing so that we can access information.
Question number 2. If criminalization leads to HIV increase due to lack of information, like you've said, why is it that countries like Lesotho and Botswana, where they have this access to information, there is a high prevalence rate compared to that of Zimbabwe, which
at least then policymakers can come up with strategies to deal with the existing prevalence rates that are actually measured. Unlike in Zimbabwe, where we don't even stand a chance to solve these problems because we've got no proper data collection systems to deal with policies for the homosexual marriages that exist.
Question number 3. If we decriminalize same-sex marriages, what assurance do you have that it is a 100% solution to Zimbabwe HIV prevention package when behavior research shows that there is inconsistent use of condom between men who have sex with men?
And now we shall have the opposers' opening speech, and when my time is on, I will let student 1 go for their 3 minutes. My time is on. You may commence.
90 people get swine flu. 1 million people get HIV and AIDS. 90% who get swine flu, they wear the mask. And the 1 million people who get HIV and AIDS, no one wants to condomize. Why is that so? Because people have a tendency of not condomizing and not scared of HIV and AIDS. Ladies and gentlemen, our line of argument, according to the debate, which says criminalizing same-sex marriages is a zero solution to the HIV prevention package. I would like to redefine the motion, which the affirmative delegation didn't redefine the motion. Criminalizing, making something illegal by making it illegal. Same-sex, people who have sex with men who have sex with men. Then a zero solution, something which is zero intolerance to making the HIV prevention package of Zimbabwe work. Okay, our line of argument goes as criminalizing same-sex is a way of preventing HIV transmission, hence making it a solution. Our argumentative points goes is transmission. How does same-sex marriages transmit HIV? This is by having anal sex, and also as transmission by anal sex is a major point. I'll go into the minor points. It says transmission caused due to a huge numbers of sexual partners amongst men who have sex with men. That's same-sex marriages. Most men who have sex with men do not know their HIV status. If a gay man tend to be bisexual, most probably you would have to be meeting with other females. So we are saying that if these men who have sex with men, tend to go to the female side, that's hence increasing what? That's hence increasing the HIV from the country. Scientifically, it is proven that men are the carriers of HIV, hence hence decriminalizing some sex is a way of making men more play is a way of making men play a role in the HIV transmission package. Sexually active men play a critical role in the rapid spread of HIV in sub-Saharan Africa, and hence increasing the HIV. Going on to exhibit there's actually explanation or now HIV prevalence in South Africa increased from 2008 to 2014 and showing a 10% increase on that factor. If a certain act is viewed as a sin, it is only logical that is time. It is only logical. Sorry.
I should be sorry for you. I've got all the time in the world. You don't. And now for the affirmative cross-examination by student 2, and this shall last a minute. And when my time is up, on student 2 may commence.
So we want to understand which research exactly shows that perhaps Zimbabwean men who are gay don't know their statuses, or there is like serious inconsistency in condom usage.
Okay, it's not about in Zimbabwe, it's about worldwide research, which says men who in the United States and also in South Africa do not know their HIV status.
Now, that is the problematic stance that we have when you don't have appropriate information about a specific area, because the information you're not able to get, people are afraid of doing that. What do you have, perhaps thinking if we're like continue decriminalizing, how does it necessarily help us solve the issues?
It reduces the way that men transmit HIV through anal
So
sex.
currently we have gay sex being illegal, but is it not happening?
It's happening.
So how does it being illegal solve the problem?
In being illegal solves the problem because it transmits a higher risk. It's a higher risk of transmission of HIV.
And now, for 2 minutes, we shall have our opposers' rebuttal by student number 2. And when my clock is up, I shall let you start opposers' rebuttal by student number 2. And please, you may start.
Okay, so currently we have an issue with their idea. We have an issue with their idea that apparently most men who are having sex with other men don't know how to use condoms, or they are using it inconsistently. We have a problem that there is no research that has actually proven that, because apparently the most people who are having same-sex relationships are not coming out in most issues. The few who come in, they perhaps do not disclose all the information because they are afraid and do not trust the sources actually. We have situations whereby key populations come in and don't disclose most of the information, which is a problem. And then we also have an issue that they claim that they admit it's happening, which is apparently a way which you don't understand what exactly they would solve if they perhaps continuously say it's illegal, because we are still having HIV infections under this illegal environment. But legalizing it actually brings them closer to say, okay, we welcome you, come and get services, we won't arrest you, as compared to the narrative that's existent, because most men are saying we're not coming there, they will arrest us, or we're not coming there, they will start speaking and talking about us or dehumanize us when we are in those clinical institutions and the likes. So we think that legalizing them is actually a way to show them that we are what? To show them that we are going to accept them, and they should come and seek medical treatment and actually start talking about condoms. Because when we have illegal situations, it's not possible for us to discuss things like safe sex amongst homosexuals. The discourse or dialogue is particularly difficult to enforce, because we know clearly that, well, if it's illegal, you start trying to evoke such a discussion, you are reminded that, hello, you're on the wrong side of the law now, right? So we think it's a problem that even discussions at school level, academic level, they are sort of centered to heterosexual, which is a problem. Even discussions in social circles are made sure to be centered around heterosexual sex, which is actually a problem, because we don't have that facilitation of
time, comrade, time. And then we shall have a rebuttal by student 2, also for 2 minutes. And we shall start when my timer goes up. My time, you may commence.
See, I would like to appreciate the fact that the first speaker from the Affirmatives said that we should directly interact with the society. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is evident that we are already directly interacting with the society, given that Zimbabwe is a democratic country and no laws are not made by individuals. Laws are made by the society at large, hence making their point null and void. Moving on, they said that we assume that if we criminalize same-sex marriages, then we assume that it doesn't exist. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't assume that it doesn't exist. Definitely it doesn't exist. This is an African society we're talking about. Our culture says no to same-sex marriages. Moving on, they also said that same-sex marriages is the most probable channel in which HIV is spread. Hence, agreeing with us that since it is the most riskiest way of sex, thereby we should criminalize it in a way reducing the HIV prevalence in Zimbabwe. Hence, a solution to the Zimbabwe HIV prevention package. Moving on, they said that they don't come out. The second speaker said that people of same-sex marriages, they don't come out even if we want them to come out. This means that this is their behavior. Research has shown that these people, if they come out, society will still stigmatize them and discriminate them. Hence, ladies and gentlemen, decriminalizing same-sex marriages is not the solution. However, what we should do as Zimbabwe is actually say that those who engage in same-sex marriages should be given a death penalty, thereby reducing our HIV prevalence rate in Zimbabwe. Moving on, they said that if we legalize same-sex marriages in Zimbabwe, this is a way to show that we are accepting them, thereby.
Time. Wow, death penalty. Pretty interesting. Now we'll be having our closing remarks for 1 minute 30 seconds, and we shall have the opposers' closing remarks by student 1, after which I presume you're going to go to the gallows. Death penalty courtesy of the esteemed lady. Student 1, when you're ready, for 1 minute 30 seconds from the opposers, I would need your closing remarks. Comments.
As I have said before, criminalizing same-sex is a way of preventing HIV and making it a solution. How does that say? If a certain act is viewed as a sin and it's optional, ain't it logical to prohibit it and restrict it by laws and making it a death penalty? There are many in Africa who believe that sexual orientation is a matter of choice and view the act as unnatural. View the act as unnatural. Religious groups in particular oppose male homosexuality viewed as a sin. We have seen that these gay people, men who have sex with men, tend to have anal sex. Why do we have to increase HIV prevalence in Zimbabwe while we have a low prevalence rate compared to South Africa, which has legalized same-sex marriages? So let's rather have a lower prevalence rate and criminalize this same-sex marriages so that we can have a 2023 youth which is actually 10% away from HIV prevalence. I thank you.
I owed you a couple of seconds, but thank you. Now we shall have the affirmative closing remarks by student 1, also for 1 minute and 30 seconds. You may commence.
Panel, opposition is unethical. the fastest way to get rid of HIV and AIDS in any population is to kill everyone with the virus, right? And that is what they're proposing. But is that ethical? It is definitely not moral nor ethical for us to kill people because of their sexuality. Whether we like it or not, society is fluid and society is moving. Because society is fluid and it is moving, you cannot just start killing people because of the sex that they identify with or because of who they go to bed with, right? The only thing we can do as a society is to try to mitigate all the challenges that come up with the new sexualities that are evolving and currently coming up as a house, right? Which is what we are vying for aside affirmative, right? All we are saying is the beginning step for Zimbabwe to be comprehensive or to be objective when it comes to solving issues of HIV and AIDS is to first of all accept that whether religion says a man and a woman, but men and men are sleeping together whether we want it or not, right? So because it is happening, it is then logical for us as a government to sit down and come up with strategies that address the emerging sexualities that are occurring. And the best way to begin is to start by decriminalizing, right? They talk about how South Africa's got high prevalence rates of HIV because gays are allowed to exist, right? We tell you, right, in Zimbabwe, prevalence rate of HIV is there between homosexuals, but we just don't know it because they're not coming forward with their statistics, right? Which is particularly a problem because if HIV is being spread by homosexual marriages and we don't know it because we assume it doesn't exist, it then narrows down whatever we are doing and counteracts whatsoever we are doing as a government. With this being said, I'm proud.
Well, this indeed wraps up our first debate of the day. And as I said, we may have a live studio audience, but out there we've got Enoch Sanewe, who's watching us from Four Ways. We've got Ruramai Mash also following our debate today. We have Diana Hove following our debate today. Christopher Rene Tawanda Chawatama following from Tanzania. Tafazwa Emmanuel Njagu also following Munyarazi Clover. Peter Dera, Josephine Mashingaidze, and Patson Ushe. This shows that indeed there has been a lot of interest that has been generated around sub-Saharan Africa by this very important debate that we are holding today, courtesy of the Swedish Embassy in Zimbabwe and our eternal partners, SAYWHAT, who always handhold us with regards very pertinent issues. Now, as our judges start to sweat out the numbers, we shall prepare for our second debate of the day, and I will perhaps have to bid eternal farewell to you in the affirmative team, because from here you're facing the death penalty. It's been nice knowing you.
Nice to be alive.
And now we expect our second team to come up.
Hi, my name is Maria McKelvey.
And I'm Kudzai Joseph Chokmanyara.
We are representing the Midland State University, the University of First Choice.
Join us at the SASI debate competitions,
where we are live on Facebook,
on the ZTN TV channel, as well as the SAYWHAT Facebook page.
See you there.
Hi guys, my name is Lydia Mtumbu and this is
Simon Gahadze.
We are from Bendera University of Science Education and we are here for the SASI debate competition.
Please keep watching the SASI debate competition live on ZTN.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Mary Ann Nazombe.
And I'm Tutu Zingube from the National
University of Science and Technology. So keep watching the SASI debates.
Right on ZTN and on the SAYWHAT Facebook page.
Thank you.
SAYWHAT, I am Louise Ndlovu.
And I'm Tadiwa Daka.
And we are from
Kwanda
State University. Keep watching the SASI debate competitions.
On ZTN Live and on our SAYWHAT Facebook page. SAYWHAT.
Hello, my name is Åsa Persson. I'm Swedish ambassador to Zimbabwe. We are very excited to partner up with SAYWHAT on the university debate competition on sexual and reproductive health. I hope that the debate will trigger discussions on sexual and reproductive health and rights. I hope that a lot of learning will take place during the debates. and that it might inspire and trigger to discussions on where entrenched beliefs will be changed. And most of all, I wish all of the participants good luck and a lots of fun during the debates.